New from ESCO Institute. This is what people are saying about the ESCO EPA Section 608 online interactive course.
Great presentation and understanding of materials. The clarity of topics are consistent, which helps the learning process immensely.
The flashcards, along with the excellent graphics and clear instructions, are fantastic.
I took the 608 core test before I came here and got 45%. After taking the ESCO course, I passed with 85%.
Do you need to get 608 certified? You will find the ESCO EPA Section 608 interactive course on the HVACR Learning Network. The HVACR industry's leading source of online and digital content. Visit us at hvacr.elearn.network.
The little guy back then, I'm not anymore. Oh, hey, we're live. We're talking about the industry and how I was the little guy, but I am not anymore. Thank you all so much for joining us on Did You Know, the ESCO HVAC show. So we're spending some time at the SkillsUSA National Competition. And for those that are not familiar with SkillsUSA, SkillsUSA is a competition that starts at the high school level, and it's for not just a few skills. It's a lot. I think it was 120, 140 skills, different skills that are here. We're looking around 29,000 people, about 6,500 participants, all here to be able to really compete. Right? It's kind of competition.
It is.
And it's so much fun. So I want to introduce all of you here in just a second. And I want everyone that's joining in, let us know if you are familiar with skills. Yeah, that's right. Way to go, Brandon. And if you're not familiar with skills, let us know and we'll try to connect you to SkillsUSA in your state or your area, because there's a lot of skills opportunities out there. I think most every state has a chapter. And so what we're doing is we're competing at the state level, then at the national level. And all three of you are here at the national level, which means you're the cream of the crop for your states, right? So how about we start and we will introduce ourselves along the way, and we'll kind of introduce the rest of the industry to skills if they are not familiar.
Sure. My name's Tamara Raymond. I go to Lincoln Land Community College. It's in Springfield, Illinois. And yeah, what else did you want to know?
We'll come back around.
Okay,
we'll start
sounds
with
good.
where you're
Good.
from and let everybody start to kind of build on,
Yep.
on each person along the way.
Well, my name is Brandon. I come from Hammond, Louisiana. I go to North Shore Technical Community College.
Excellent.
I'm Trevor. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I go to Mitchell Tech.
Okay, so you're all in a technical or community college, right? So are we like first year college, second year college?
Yeah, for me, it's a 1-year program for the HVAC system that we have. But I'm also going to do another year to get my associates.
Good for you. Fantastic.
At the moment, it's a 2-year program for our commercial AC and refrigeration.
Yeah.
I just finished my first year, so I'm going to be finishing up in my next semester to get my AC and start my refrigeration as well.
Yeah.
Ours is a first year. It's separated residential, commercial. And so I just finished the first year on my second year in the fall.
Heck yeah. Excellent. So I'm so proud of you all. Let me start from there. I'm so proud of you for going through and starting to build enough confidence in yourself. You're like, you know what? I think I've learned enough that I can compete against some people. So what is it like? Like, do you have challenges like in your own program before you go to state? Like how do we determine who gets to go to the state competition?
Well, they basically just asked us, hey, who wants to go? And
Right.
3 of us, I think, at our school raised our hands and said, yeah, we want to. And so there wasn't too many, but it was fun. They did have like a little test that we took beforehand that was basically just the general basics.
fundamentals.
And yeah, the top 10 could go from that.
Oh,
so.
scored off from that.
Top 10 in the state.
Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
so for us at the North Shore Tech campus, it was a bit rushed, sadly. We weren't really sure if we were on board or not. They've had a lot of technical problems getting into it itself.
It's a lot of work to get prepared to be a part of this.
Yeah. But once we got that green flag, it was kind of a bit of a rush. We were supposed to have tryouts and kind of go through multiple students. But with the time we had, we kind of had to just hand pick.
Right.
Sadly.
Go down through, okay, who's doing well on all the tests? Here we go.
For us, it was anybody that wanted to do it. We only have 3 HVAC programs in the state, and just not a lot of people wanted to do it, unfortunately. So anybody that wanted to got to compete at the state level.
Oh, that's really cool. All right. So, when you're mentioning like the whole delay, like same here, like we didn't even know 3 weeks before this that we were even coming. It just kind of all happened.
It happened.
And it does happen. And it's so exciting. So you're going to the competition, and in the state level competition, what type of competitions are we doing at the state level?
Yeah, so we did brazing, which we also did here. So we did brazing, which was pretty similar. And then we had troubleshooting on various different systems. A lot of the troubleshooting, though, was just like there was a wire that was off or something,
right.
But finding where that is, and where the fault is, that's what they wanted to double check.
Sure.
They wanted to make sure we knew how to recover refrigerant and how to evacuate a system. All the basic things with refrigeration. Oh, and we did identifying parts and seeing if they're good or bad, testing them, all that sort of stuff as well.
Bench testing kind of stuff. Okay, same for your state?
Somewhat similar. We kind of were a bit rushed when we got there.
Yeah.
They were still putting it together.
Right.
But we did have a basic brazing process. We had a basic troubleshoot, just one wire pulled out. And then we also had to do a check for charge. But with that as well, they didn't tell us what refrigerant was in there. They kind of covered up the data plate so we couldn't cheat it off. We had to check, okay, what refrigerant was in here? How do you find it? And then how much do you need to put into the system itself?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, at my state level, we had 7 different competitions we had to go through at the time.
Oh, wow.
And no heat, no AC, brazing, refrigerant recovery, written test. So all sorts of stuff. We did airflow as well.
Cool.
So
yeah, you had a lot to go through. You really got grilled.
It was quite the process for sure.
Now, we also have high school students that are competing as well. So did you see a lot of high school students in the competition at the state level and here at the national level?
Yeah, we actually had more people competing in the high school level than in the college level. So that was really fun.
That's exciting.
I want to say it was like 32 high schools and then 20 post-secondary.
What?
Yeah, here at National, it's crazy that there's a lot more high schoolers, and a lot of them I was talking to seem pretty invested into it as far as continuing on the education path. So,
okay, we're going to stop right there. So everyone listening, like every single one on the show right now, and we appreciate all of you joining us, think about that. We have seen now a change so that we're seeing more high schoolers going into the competition than we are in the post-secondary. Think about that. And if you're not already doing a high school program in your local area, time to be thinking about that, right?
Yeah, cough, cough, South Dakota.
Well, let's step back then and let's think about, for me, one of the more important questions. Like, was there a reason that you got into HVAC?
Yeah, so for me, I actually started out a little bit with electrical and plumbing. With my dad, we did a lot of home renovation, home repair.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's always something wrong at the home, right? You got to fix.
Yep.
And throughout my time there, it started off just fine, a lot of hands-on experience. However, as we got deeper into the program, it got more and more theoretical.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm a very hands-on person.
Absolutely.
Theoretics are kind of slipping on me. And I had to make that choice. And I said, well, if I want to do something, I want to do something that I love. And one of the things I love is getting my hands into machines, repairing, being able to build it. And one of the things I saw, especially around my area in Louisiana, HVAC.
Yeah.
It's a very big,
everywhere.
it's a very big industry, and we're always going to need technicians.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. I got into it mostly because of my dad.
Yeah.
Me and my dad, we're besties. We're best friends.
Awesome.
And
congratulations.
so
Dad.
he's been doing it for 32 years. And when it kind of came time for me to get what I would call a big boy job, something that's not retail,
Right.
then I was kind of looking at it and like, well, I've seen it done, and it's just working with, like I said, working with my hands. I cannot sit still. I mean, I would never be good at a desk job. So got to get out there and
if anybody needs it, by the way. And I think our video cut out a little bit because we're actually on cellular right now, so we didn't have a lot of internet connection.
A little spotty.
Yeah, it was a little spotty. So do you mind telling us again, just in case we cut out on any
how
of
I
it?
got into HVAC?
Yeah.
So my dad and I do a lot of home improvement, home repair, all that sort of stuff. And he taught me the basics of electrical and plumbing, but he never learned HVAC. So I figured I could both beat him on that a little bit. And also I could learn something that, kind of incorporates all that. It kind of has all of the stuff. I work better at doing stuff with my hands for sure. I actually did go to college for university for a little bit. And definitely technical school.
You find out real quick, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
I was the same. I went to school for 1 year for TV, radio, film. That's how this all started, right? So I had a mobile DJ business as a teenager. I thought that was fun. I thought that's what I wanted to do. But then I started realizing, I was like, when do we build this stuff? Like, I'm in class and I'm learning how to, how all of this theory is. And I'm like, no, give me some wires or I'm going to go bonkers here. And I find that a lot like in the trades. Like we are the people who like to do things with our hands. Yeah. And that's usually that first question that I ask people, like, do you like to work with your hands? If they say yes, that's like, cool, let's find a trade for you.
Right. And I think another thing too is the satisfaction of knowing you did something. You can drive through your hometown, whatever, and you can go, I worked on that house, I worked on that house, I worked on that house, I know this person, I met this person. It's more human connection, and it's the satisfaction of knowing you built something that somebody uses every day, somebody actually cares about what you did. They're going to remember you're the guy that, or the gal
that did that.
That fixed your air conditioner, installed it, what have you, keeps your home nice year round.
Do you all feel the same way?
Well, mostly, yes, sir.
Yeah, I love helping people, and so that's definitely a big thing for me. Is I like helping them and getting it what they need, fixing it. So yeah,
I have this philosophy, and I've had a lot of people agreeing with me on this. I feel like technicians have one commonality, no matter what skill set they're in. We are like servants at heart. We enjoy serving the people around us. We enjoy seeing a smile on someone when we do something for them. You all agree?
Absolutely.
That is so cool. Because I asked some of me old fogies and my friends, and they're all like, yeah, we do. But we've done it for so long that, I always wonder, well, is it just because we've done it for so long, we all agree on the same thing? But when I sit around here and I have that conversation, I hear the same thing. It makes me realize that, that's who we are. We are people who enjoy helping other people. And that feeling of fixing something when you're done.
You show up and there's a problem. Hey, I can't figure this out. And you go in there and you figure it out. And
you're the superhero.
Makes you feel like $1 million.
And you get paid for it.
Yeah.
That's the benefit. We always think about, like, what is this kind of work? It's hard work. And so a lot of times we sell the trades as, this is a manual skill job. Like, you're dirty. You're going to have days that you're just not happy with what you're doing. But then the very next day, it could be a single mom that has a furnace out in the middle of the winter, and you have changed someone's life. It could be the old man down the street that is shaking because his furnace isn't working right, or his AC won't shut off. And those little things that we do, they have such an emotional impact, and you really feel like you're doing things for humanity and not just yourself.
Yeah.
Of course, it's always good to get paid while you're also helping others.
There's good pay in this job. And I will be the first to tell everyone, it's one of those kind of careers where you work hard, you will make money. Like, you set your own path. Now, you can get by and not do a lot, and you'll still make decent money. But when you start putting yourself in the position where you're making yourself more valuable, like you just mentioned, making yourself more valuable, going from like the electrical skills into the HVAC skills, you're adding the different skill sets. And then in a short period of time, you've got a lot of skill sets that are all in high demand. And that is something that not every career offers that. Like my wife, she's an accountant. She loves what she's doing, but we're getting to that stage in life where she's going, I think I've done this enough, but I'm not sure if there's anything else that I could do without going back to school. And in our field in particularly,
Yeah, it forces you to learn new skills.
Yeah.
It does. All you got to do is go, okay, I'm already doing this, and I'll pick up a little bit something else, and I'll go do that.
Yep.
Or you know what? Maybe I think I'll get into sales, or maybe I'll get into parts delivery, or maybe I'm going to go ahead and own my own business. There's so many different directions that you can go with that. So, with that question in mind, with the experience that you've already seen and felt in the industry, where do you see yourself in the industry?
Ooh,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, think about it for a minute. Like, where
Yeah.
do you want to go with it?
Yeah. I really like the refrigeration side of things. I think that it's something that I do for a long time, you know, and there's always something new going on in there's always something new everywhere,
Yeah,
but there's always something
refrigerants,
new in
yeah,
refrigeration.
yeah.
Always something new to learn, and I like learning new things.
Oh, nice.
And so eventually I'd like to be a refrigeration tech or something like that.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when it comes to a HVAC, I really do love learning new things every other day.
All right, I believe we are feeding once again. So I'm going to bring in our extra cameras. And we knew that there was that potential for losing some signal because we are in the middle of the Georgia World Congress Center. All right, now we're feeding back through. I think we're just going to keep those 2 video feeds just in case we were overloading the bandwidth.
Right.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so let's move on. So we now see ourselves. We see that opportunity to explore different careers. And when we were talking about like the instructors, we're starting to have a bit of a shortage of instructors as well. So there is a lot of opportunity in the instructor side of it. It is cool to get out and get some experience and do some traveling, do what you want to do. But there's so many different career opportunities. And that's where we have such an advantage, is that if we don't like what we're doing at the time, all we have to do is look around us and go, okay, that's what I want to do. Let me go to that person and ask what they did to get where they are. And the industry is very willing to share. And so you'd mentioned a while ago that being like the mentor in the classroom. Do you feel a lot of mentorship between your classmates in HVAC?
I definitely feel, you know, when you get the concepts and everything, there's always, and so it's always good to be able to help those people. Sometimes you just need to reword things,
right?
And it just helps them. It also helps you understand what the instructors.
That's a go. I spent a lot of time doing classes on generational learners and how different generations learn in different ways better than other generations. And so what worked well for Gen X, myself in the classroom, that may be how I communicate well with people, but it may not be the best way that anyone younger than me understands, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times you look at your parents and go, "You're so weird. I have no idea what you're talking about." Kind of the same thing, right? So, wow, that's fantastic. So, by being able to communicate amongst yourselves, maybe one person understands what the instructor said. Maybe each got a little piece of it. As a group, you're finding that you're solving things more.
Yeah.
And it's one of the major things with teaching. You only have so many advisors and you have so many students.
Right.
So it's really good to communicate with each other, because you might understand something they don't.
Yeah.
And by helping each other out, you can both progress forward at the same time. And sometimes, like we said before, advisors have their own language as well, and we all have our different ways of learning. Each person has their own different way of learning. It's individual learning. And at some point, you have to take that responsibility to be able to teach yourself, and if need be, also help others around you and find a way to help them find a way to learn.
As well.
Yeah, I like being in the class. Our instructor will say something and everyone will look around and go, "What the heck are we doing?"
She's speaking English.
And yeah, sometimes I don't think so. Or they just fly through it and they're like, "All right, now go do it." And I definitely think the best way to learn is to teach. If somebody starts asking you questions and you don't know, well, you better figure it out real quick to have an answer for them. And so, I mean, I know that's helped me learn a lot, because I'll have, peers, classmates asking me questions, and instead of saying, "I don't know," I'll just say, "Hold on. You got to go learn it real quick and then come back." And so
I would, so when I do a lot of these classes, kind of help understand different learning habits, I I kind of recognize you all right in between Gen Z and Alpha. What would you think that you would consider yourself to be?
Gen Z.
Gen Z,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so within, do you guys mind somebody closing that door for us? It is a little loud out there. Everyone's breaking down. Oh, and I guess I can show. No, I can't show everyone out there in the audience what's going on outside. Where was that going? I got to remember where I was even going with that.
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z.
Yes, Gen Z. So I see, and what I try to learn, try to understand. I have an 18-year-old myself, just graduated high school, so I can interpret a little bit, right? But for Gen Z is well known for collective conversation, trying to solve things together. Do you feel that actually? I know within the HVAC classes you're feeling that. Do you feel that as a generation in general?
I think so. I think there's a lot of, since we have the internet, it's easy to find people who are also trying to work on a problem. And it's easy to get in contact with them as well and be able to actually talk things through. And we've had that our whole lives.
Right. You grew up with it. You were, digital natives.
That's just it. We were born right on the cusp of when the internet became widely available, usable. I mean, it's one of those things that I agree. We have the internet. We can talk to anybody anywhere about any problem that we have, and chances are there's somebody else out there that's trying to figure that out as well.
And one big thing with the internet, as beautiful as it is, you also got to remember there's a lot of false information on there. So being able to like talk with others and communicate what you find, you'll find out very quickly within large groups of what is true, what isn't true, and what should we look deeper into.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share with the three of you something that is a very common frustration amongst Gen Z teachers. And I have my own responses to this, but I would actually love to hear this from the students. So many Gen Z educators who did not grow up with laptops and PCs and phones that you could hop on the internet with. Most of us grew up not even having the internet until we were in grade school or even later. A lot of educators have a problem with students having their phone open and available during classroom. How do you personally feel about it?
I hate having my phone during class.
Really?
I honestly, I cannot stand it. I feel like although, yes, you can Google the problem, that doesn't teach you anything other than that specific problem. Whereas if you figure it out yourself on how to get from A to B, well, you just learned C, D, E, and F is on your way.
Fascinating.
And so that is one thing that like our instructor actually doesn't allow us to have phones in the lab.
Right.
So when you are presented with a problem, you have wiring diagrams, you have friends, and that's all you get to solve your problems with. Obviously, if you need some help, you ask the instructor or whatnot, but it forces you to learn. I think you learn a lot more along the way without it. So I'm a big fan of not having it.
That's a cool perspective. Okay. I'm open to all. So, I mean, literally tell me what's on your mind, because I'm curious.
One of the main things with without technology is that journey in finding the answer, because even on your way, you'll find different ways to do different things.
Right.
And with the internet and people using their phones, if it's in class, they're just going from point A to point B instantly.
Right. Nothing in between.
And they're not learning of different ways of finding the answer.
Wow.
I definitely see that, and I agree that, when you actually are trying to learn it, you put in that effort, you don't need your phone most of the time. Sure, like occasional little things like a calculator or small things.
Calling tech support.
Yeah.
Did they answer you?
Every now and then.
But I feel like where I actually see the issue the most is with people who don't want to be there. There's some people who they just don't want to be in class. Maybe their parents made them, take a class, or maybe they're just bored, they're just disengaged. And I think that that's the bigger issue to solve, because when you're actually enjoying being in a class, when you want to be there, you won't use your, it's not like you shouldn't have it's not like they take your phone away, but you just don't use it because you don't need it. And when you do need it, then you've got it there for any good thing that you need it for, like Googling, what actually is that law or whatever. But most of the issue that I've seen, anytime I've seen an issue with it, is just bored, disengaged, or just doesn't want to be there.
And I definitely agree with that too. If they don't have the interest of being there, they're going to find anything
Something
else
to
more
do.
interesting. Something as simple as playing with the
Mhm.
the squishy ball.
Or reading a book, or
Yeah,
Reading the book.
right. Just something
Even-
to tune out.
even reading the manual because they're just that bored, you know.
Wow.
Just one thing with phones in the class, it
Yeah.
ruins imagination, because a lot of things
So
with people
true.
working around things is having limitations to what they can use to find
Yeah.
a solution. So when you have something in front of you that just basically can solve a lot of problems through like just a few apps, if it be Google, if it be AI,
right.
something along those lines, it ruins them finding a way to get around the problem.
I think a good example, actually, I just thought about this. I went to World of Coke yesterday, and he was trying to cure headaches, and that's how Coca-Cola was invented. And if he would have had a phone and just Googled how to get rid of a headache, we might never have had that.
Mhm.
That is
That's
so
true.
crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Well, so what about like, do you see a use for integration? Like, I mean, do you like a book? Like a
Yes.
physical book?
Give me a
Physical
paper
book,
book.
yeah.
See,
I
I've
like
been
paper
hearing
books.
that a lot
I mean, they're
recently.
heavy.
Yeah.
But
You like that kind of reference versus a digital reference.
Absolutely.
No joke.
easier to flip through, easier
Yeah.
to
It's
highlight, easier
hands-on
to underline.
experience.
Yeah, you can
Being
actually
able to
create it.
physically touch it and
Yeah.
like interact with the book. And if there's
Right.
something really important, you can highlight it. It's not like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
just clicking and then right click,
Yeah.
highlight. You actually get to highlight it yourself and go through, and then you can remember it as well.
Wow.
That, or like, I mean, it makes me kind of a nerd, but I have actually an AC refrigeration book that I just read at night instead of scrolling on my phone.
Which book do you have? Tell me about it. You got Professor
Is it
Silverstein's
an
book?
ESCO?
Yeah.
No, that's the problem. Unfortunately
not.
I'm sure he has one in his bag. If you have it, but
All right. Well, that is really helpful for all of us, because as educators, like I know, I assume you all have conversations about your teachers, right? All right.
sometimes.
A little bit.
Well, we have conversations about you all too. It's
Yeah,
like
I know they do.
Oh, yeah.
They tell us about those conversations.
You know, here at ESCO, we like to pride ourselves as like this dysfunctional dating service within HVAC. We always try to help people like get together and figure things out. And so this is kind of one of those. I feel like we're this dysfunctional dating service trying to get the teachers to talk to the students and the students to talk to the teachers, to like share back and forth about like what is actually good for you and what is actually working, because it helps us all like figure it out, because technology has changed so fast in a short period of time that it sometimes makes it difficult to make sure that we're delivering the content in a way that is receivable to you. But knowing that physical book is still a very important thing, that's super cool. Are there any other resources that you enjoy, maybe in other classes outside of HVAC, that you think were good learning tools?
Has to be that hands-on experience, not just
Yeah.
a book, but once you get into that book, you
Mhm.
start learning, and then you go to go put your hands on an actual unit,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
actually put your hands on, if it be wiring, if it be anything along those lines.
Mhm.
just to me, it's just always the hands-on lab time. I mean, that's gonna always replace anything else you could ever do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is just having that working unit in front of you. And I'm also a big fan of like the you got back here, like the big refrigeration trainer boards,
Yeah.
where it's not in like a unit, it's super like
in
simply
front of
laid
you.
out. Yeah. You know, and that kind of helps you get started from point A to point B, I think, as far
Mhm.
as understanding the basics of it to get more complicated at that point.
Yeah, I completely agree. Once you can actually see it, because that's part of being a hands-on learner. We're visual learners, right? We like to be able to see it. We like to be able to maneuver it, understand what the thing is, tear it apart, see if we can put it back together. I mean, that's kind of part of what we do in that learning process. So it's so interesting. Like we keep thinking that today's classroom needs like all of this sophistication and all this technology. And what it comes down to is you just really need to be able to see it and go out and get your hands on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of eye-opening for me, to be honest with you, because we spend a lot of time trying to figure out like how do we deliver the content better to the classroom. And maybe it's more of a fact of let's just make sure we're delivering it efficiently and we're spending good quality time in front of those pieces of equipment.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've
Cool.
always thought would be cool for specifically like an HVAC setting, if there was some way to like, I understand it's hard to condense all this stuff, but if you could get it to where every single student could have a trainer board in front of them, and then
Right.
and your instructor could say, put your clamp on this, look at that pressure. Okay, what you're looking at right now is called superheat. I mean, I feel like stuff like that could be a lot easier than them just saying, hey, take this pressure, take this temperature, that's superheat. If you're
Right.
sitting there and everybody does it at the same time
Mm-hmm.
and you're physically touching it while he's talking to you.
You'd rather see smaller versions in case that way, if you have something you're not seeing, you can talk to one of your friends, one of your neighbors.
Exactly. It makes it easier than the instructor having to run around the lab or the classroom or what have you. And
wow. Okay. Well, of the entire learning process, what philosophies or what pieces of machinery or what thing was the hardest to learn? Took the longest to learn? For the light bulb to go, oh, that's it. No rush.
It's a hard question because we're all, first place winners.
Yeah, that's right. You're the cream of the crop here. And you're like, we don't have no problems.
No,
we
have
understand
problems.
it all.
First, second, and third right here.
Yeah.
Well, I can share with you what mine was.
Yeah.
The day, the minute, the job, I can still remember it when I looked at a wiring diagram and it kind of came to life as a piece of equipment. When I was able to look at it and go, oh, that is that. And now I can fix that because now I know, oh, there's the compressor. Oh, there's the motor. Oh, there's the thermostat. Oh, wow. And that's the color of wire connecting it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it has to be learning, honestly, the bare basics, the sequence of operations for a gas furnace, just to know it has to happen in that order. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So if something doesn't happen in that order, I mean, then all right, kind of here's where to start. And then same thing with like the refrigeration cycle. Okay, well, my temp here or pressure here is way off. Then I know something in between here and there has to cause that issue. So I mean, I think it's super basic, but it's universal. Like the competitions today, one of them I walked up to and I went, and I just had no idea what I was looking at, but I just fell back on, here's where to start. If this doesn't happen, then this must happen, and went from there. So,
yeah.
For me, it probably has to do with the refrigeration cycle. I'm still, getting my feet into the water of HVAC.
Right.
But when it started off, I was kind of stressed of like, where do I start? What do I look at?
Yep.
But once you start getting into it, you kind of start to see patterns and everything. And one of those things is the refrigeration cycle. And being able to kind of see units, and then you'll hear there's an issue here. You'll be able to say, okay, if it's not doing this, I'm looking at this side. I'm looking at the evaporator, the condenser, the compressor, metering device, and so on.
That's a tough one. That may have been my toughest, honestly, besides wiring.
I would say that's also probably the one that my class in general, we were all like kind of confused at first, but I mean, we got there pretty quickly, but still we got there. That's probably the one that is the biggest aha moment to me. The like, there's the latent heat because it's changed states. Okay, that makes sense. Figuring out all that. That was the biggest aha moment for me. Maybe not the one that took the longest, but that's the first one I can think of.
No, that completely makes sense. And if any instructors out there hanging in with us or have questions, want to be able to ask any of our students that are completely willing to talk to you right now, and I encourage you to
the raw
join
truth.
us. Yeah, this is kind of the raw truth of what HVAC is. I mean, you've been in it long enough now. You've seen if you're going to be able to enjoy this for a longer period of time or not. And you're obviously here. You're obviously enjoying it. You're obviously looking forward to different careers in the industry. I'm so proud of all three of you. I truly am. I'm proud of everyone that is pushing themselves to be able to compete like this. And this is just such an amazing thing to be a part of. And we're very honored to be here. We're grateful for Mingo Dorfs and who's helping organize the entire HVAC competition side, and SkillsUSA for having us all here. Have you done any fun things since you've been here?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's the funnest thing you've done since you've been at Skills?
This. No.
Yeah.
All right. And you heard it here on Did You Know? The ESCO.
For me, though, it has to be learning, because I love knowing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you're not going to grow as a person without making mistakes or finding something that confuses you. So coming to this competition, there's some events that I couldn't complete all the way. And that's perfectly that's good for me. Because that means when I go back, I can study up on it.
Wow.
I can do better. And then that growth of me being able to look back and say, wow, I couldn't do that, but now I can. That's just a huge sign of growth for me.
Fantastic. Kudos.
For me, well, the first thing that comes to mind is the most fun thing I did today which was actually in one of the competitions. We're all judged now, we're all scored, so it should be okay, you know. But there was one thing where it was the high pressure limit was like going out on high pressure, and I was like, okay, well, where's, is there a restriction? What's going on here? And then I literally step up onto this. It's got a little platform with some fake grass on it. I step up onto the platform and I see it's not spinning, and I'm like, oh, I've got it now. That was the most fun. Was that light bulb right there?
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing too. I was looking at that and I was like, it just keeps going, and finally I leaned down to take a measurement, and I put my hand. I was like, wait a minute, there's no airflow. I didn't have to step up on the platform though.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate everybody joining us. Sounds like the signals are getting loud outside. They're probably going to be running us out of here in a little bit. I know you all have other things to do to go enjoy yourselves here at Skills. I really appreciate your time. It's been awesome to get to know all three of you. And I'm just incredibly proud of you, and I look forward to seeing your careers grow.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye, everybody, and we'll see you all again next week on Did You Know? The ESCO HVAC Show. Bye.